All right, let's dive into this. Imagine you're sitting at your kitchen table, scrolling through your phone. You've got a budgeting app open, and it's telling you that you've spent too much on takeout this week. You know you should probably cut back, but that little notification feels more like a nag than a helpful reminder, right? Now, it's fascinating to think about how technology has woven itself into our financial lives. We've gone from keeping physical ledgers to having entire banks in our pockets. But here's the kicker. While some apps can guide us towards better financial habits, others can actually lead us down a slippery slope. Let's break this down. In 2022, the average American spent about $3,500 a year on dining out. That's a pretty hefty chunk of change, especially when you consider that many people are also juggling student loans, mortgages, and everyday bills. With the rise of apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats, that number is likely only going up.
But what about those budgeting apps? Are they really helping, or are they just another form of digital distraction? Take the case of Sarah, a 30-something living in Austin, Texas. She downloads a popular budgeting app that promises to help her track her spending. Initially, she feels empowered. It categorizes her expenses, provides insights, and even suggests ways to save. But over time, she becomes so obsessed with tracking every single dollar that it starts to feel overwhelming. Instead of enjoying that out with friends, she finds herself calculating how much she can afford. That's when the app stops being a tool and becomes a source of anxiety. Now, let's think about how systemic issues play into this. Not everyone has the same access to financial education or technology. You've got communities where people are struggling to make ends meet, often working multiple jobs just to pay rent.
In neighborhoods without banks or credit unions, folks might turn to payday lenders with sky-high interest rates. That's a whole other level of financial stress that a budgeting app can't fix. Let's talk numbers. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 40% of Americans say they wouldn't be able to cover a $400 emergency expense. That's a staggering statistic. And when you're living paycheck to paycheck, the last thing on your mind is whether you're using the right app to budget. For many, it's about survival, not savings. There's also the idea of communal financial habits. Consider a family unit. If one person in the household is tech-savvy and manages the finances using a fancy app, but the partner is more traditional, it can lead to friction. They might not see eye to eye on spending priorities.
One evening, while watching TV, they might argue about a recent purchase. One feels justified because it's all in the app, while the other feels left out of the decision-making process. And then there's the issue of financial literacy. In many cases, people don't even know what questions to ask when it comes to managing their money. If you grew up in a household where finances were a taboo topic, how do you break that cycle? A budgeting app won't teach you the basics of investing, saving for retirement, or building credit. A study from 2020 showed that less than 25% of high school students in the US were required to take a personal finance class. That's a huge gap. So while we might be turning to technology for help, we're still missing the foundational knowledge that helps us make informed decisions. Let's take a moment to think about the implications of this. Imagine a young adult named Jason, who just graduated college.
He's got student loans, a job that pays okay, and a smartphone. He downloads 3 different finance apps, hoping they'll solve all his problems. But instead of simplifying his life, he feels inundated with notifications. Budget alert, you're over your limit. It's like having a financial coach who's always yelling at you. Now let's pivot a bit and consider the positive side. There are apps that genuinely empower users to improve their financial well-being. For instance, apps like YNAB, You Need a Budget, teach users about the envelope system, a method where you allocate money to different categories as if you're using physical envelopes. It encourages mindful spending and makes budgeting more tangible. But the key here is balance. You might love the instant gratification of a shopping app that delivers your favorite sneakers in a day, but it's important to have a system in place that keeps those purchases in check.
Maybe that means setting up alerts on your bank account for when your balance dips below a certain amount, or actually sitting down once a week to assess your spending. Let's not forget about the role of social media in all of this. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok are filled with influencers sharing their financial journeys. While some offer genuine advice, others promote lifestyles that can be misleading. You see someone posting about their lavish vacation, and suddenly it feels like you're missing out on something essential. The pressure to keep up can lead to impulsive spending, which can create a vicious cycle of debt. There's also a cultural component to consider. In some cultures, discussing money is taboo. If you come from a background where it's considered rude to talk about salaries or savings, how do you navigate financial wellness?
Technology might offer tools, but at the end of the day, it's about creating an environment where open discussions about money are encouraged. Before we wrap up, let's reflect on the future. As technology continues to evolve, we should be mindful of how it shapes our financial habits. AI-driven financial advisors are already making waves, providing personalized advice based on spending behavior. But we need to ask ourselves, is this the right direction? Are we trading one form of dependency for another? In the end, it's about finding the right balance between leveraging technology and fostering genuine financial literacy. Whether you're a tech whiz or someone who prefers a paper ledger, the goal is the same: to feel empowered and in control of your finances. So next time you pull out your app, take a second to think about what it's really doing for you. Is it helping you, or is it just another distraction?
Life is too short to stress over finances, but it's also too important to ignore them. So let's commit to educating ourselves, discussing our struggles, and using technology as a tool, not a crutch. After all, financial wellness is not just about numbers, it's about making choices that align with our values and goals.